Surah Al-Kauthar Tafsir explanation. Verse 1. Verily, we have granted you Al-Kauthar. Ibn Kathir explains that Al-Kauthar refers to a great river or fountain in paradise that was gifted to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This river is described as having water that is whiter than milk and sweeter than honey, and it represents the vast and abundant blessings that Allah has given to the Prophet. Al-Kauthar is a symbol of Allah's generosity and grace toward the Prophet. It is not only a reference to the river itself, but also encompasses the multitude of blessings, spiritual and worldly, bestowed upon the Prophet, including prophethood, revelation, the Quran, and the success of his mission. These blessings are far greater than anything that his opponents, who were hostile to him, could ever offer. Some scholars also interpret Al-Kauthar as general abundance in knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual rewards that was granted to the Prophet. Verse 2, so pray to your Lord and sacrifice to him alone. Ibn Kathir explains that this verse is a command to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to express gratitude for the abundant blessings of Allah by performing two acts of worship, prayer and sacrifice. The verse instructs the Prophet to pray to Allah alone as a sign of devotion and to offer sacrifices in his name. In pre-Islamic Arabia, people often sacrificed animals to their idols. This verse makes it clear that all acts of worship and sacrifice must be dedicated to Allah alone, rejecting idolatry and polytheism. The command to pray and sacrifice is not only for the Prophet but for all Muslims. It signifies that in times of blessings and abundance, believers should remember Allah through acts of worship, showing gratitude for his mercy and favor. Verse 3. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off. Ibn Kathir explains that this verse is a powerful response to the disbelievers, particularly Al-As bin Wa'il, a member of the Quraysh tribe who mocked the Prophet. He referred to the Prophet as Abtar, which means cut off or without descendants. This was meant as an insult, as having male descendants was seen as a source of pride in Arab society. In response, Allah reveals this verse, declaring that it is the enemy of the Prophet who will be truly cut off, not the Prophet himself. The enemies of Islam who opposed the Prophet and tried to tarnish his name would eventually be forgotten and would leave no lasting legacy. In contrast, the Prophet's legacy would endure and flourish. This verse conveys a sense of ultimate justice. Those who oppose the message of Islam and the Prophet will be cut off from any lasting success or honor. Meanwhile, the Prophet's influence and name will continue to grow, and he will be remembered and honored by Muslims for all time.